Hey, all right. You are listening to the Deadman's Tome podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Deadman. This show is broadcast live in a trailer park deep in the heart of Meth County, Texas. Tonight, in this episode, we're doing a review of Forbidden World. It is a horror sci-fi movie, a blend of both. Look at that. Is this movie any good? We're going to get into that. I mean, this movie was panned by critics when it came out, calling it like a cheap knockoff of Alien. Okay. But is it really? Well, it's hard to defend it. It's impossible to defend this film when the project was originally intended to be some big grander story, like a Lawrence of Arabia, but in space. Ambitious. That would have been very ambitious. Instead, because they did not have the budget for that, and Roger Corman was not gonna back a project that big, they decided to go with something else. And that is to make a knockoff, a ripoff of Alien. And that's this movie in a way. It's a little bit of Alien. It's a little bit of Star Wars. It's a little bit of you get the cheesy vibes. You get the sexual exploitation. You get all that exploitation stuff. But there is a charm to this movie. And the charm is, I think, the movie seems to be aware of how cheesy and bad it is. But at the same time, though, I don't really know 100% sure about that. And the reason why I say that is apparently when this movie was being screened in theaters, Roger Corman assaulted someone, punched him in the face for laughing in response to certain scenes in this movie. So is the movie self-aware? I mean, how else do you describe the fact that they have a sex scene, pretty hot sex scene, which we're going to get into, to the level that I can on YouTube. And during that, they have a black dude playing a saxophone. Unironically. Like, you have this cheesy space sax music playing when your main guy, Captain Badass is banging blonde bimbo number 1, the doctor. And you got sexy saxophone music playing. How is this movie supposed to not be aware? Maybe the movie's aware, but Roger Corman is not. And the thing about Roger Corman, like, I can make fun of the guy, I could rag on the guy about his long list of bad movies. But these are the sort of movies that are supposed to be bad. Yet they always turn a profit, from what I understand. Roger Corman is the guy behind such popular titles like Sharktopus or Dino Shark, Death Race. What about Sharktopus versus Terracuda? You like that? This movie too apparently had a budget under $1 million, and it made about $4 million. Well, that's pretty good return for him. I'm surprised it didn't make more. People just rewatching for the sex scenes, and they are pretty good. I got to tell you, if it's really just by the Bob Ross. What? Stop myself there. The Joe Bob Briggs 3B rating scale. The 3 B's. Boobs. You got bodies, blood, and boobs. This movie would pass. This movie passes on that. And you know what? If for that, in that regard, it's not a bad film. It's not horrible. It's not the worst thing. It is entertaining. It is definitely very entertaining. But you have to be willing to take some cheese. But what they do with the cheese, what they do with their low budget, is actually pretty good. There's a lot of things I hate this movie about. This movie reuses, to be cheap, to be cheaper than cheap, this movie reuses old footage of prior projects that Roger Corman had done. It reuses footage from, let's see, Galaxy of Terror. It reuses the props and the settings of that movie. Then you got the space battle sequence in Battle Beyond the Stars, which is Roger Corman's Star Wars ripoff. So reuses old footage. It starts off like that. Actually, let me back up a little bit. This movie starts off with this weird montage that flashes of scenes we're going to see later on in the movie, like as if they have already happened. But they didn't. They haven't even happened, right? But it makes it seem like we're looking at our hero after he escaped. But it's weird because it's the same montage of flashing that you see at the end of the movie when him and Blonde Bimbo number 2 survive somehow. So is this movie trying to make it seem like they're caught in a time warp, like it's just going to continue over and over and over? It's not that smart. It's not that thing. The plot had nothing to do with time or anything like that. So, no, it's just uneven, quirky editing just for the sake of it. But the movie starts off, our hero, sort of a Han Solo type. A blaster on the side is all he needs. He doesn't need anything else. He's the marshal of space. He is that's all. You know, he's not really a badass. He's presented as Mr. Badass. But there's a scene in the movie where him and 3 other guys and the robot were open firing on this alien thing, this alien crab thing that wasn't moving. It wasn't moving. It was this alien spider thing that was anchored down to the wall. It was stationary. And they were blasting at it. 4 people blasting at this thing for minutes. Did they hit the motherfucker? No, of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. Not at all. Not at all. Not even our Captain Badass did. In fact, that shootout is so embarrassingly bad. Once again, it's another moment where the movie seems to be self-aware of how bad it is, which seems, okay, just laugh at it. You have to laugh at it. But be careful. Roger Corman's going to punch you in the face if you do. But in this scene, the robot fires a shot and the laser bounces off the rock, is deflected somehow. I didn't know stone could deflect lasers. I missed that course. But it goes back to the robot and knocking it out. I mean, that is something, right? You got Johnny Badass over here and 4 of the guys. They can't take out a target that's not even moving at all. And it's a pretty big target. It's like a 5-minute sequence of all these pew, 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 pew. Two. Not even joking. Not even. It's literally what happened. But I think the fact that the robot got hit, it actually, like I said, it makes it funny, and it makes it like, okay, is it? They know this is bad, right? Like they have to know. Let me show you this robot, by the way. Those watching in the YouTube channel, I know YouTube's dead to me. Okay. Because this show's demonetized completely because I'm too damn sexy. Not even joking about that. I know I've been ragging about that for a while. Bear with me. This whole YouTube channel has been demonetized completely. Can't even make a super chat because the content is too sexualized. You know, I was thinking, could I show the nude scenes now? Now that I'm so sexualized, like, what would stop it? Right? You just put it behind an age gate. Gotta think about that. What does YouTube do if you're streaming and you put like a little boob shot? Did they take the stream down or they just put it behind an age gate? I'm curious about that. I'm very curious. Because that actually might determine what I do with the blah blah blah. I can't even speak right now. With future reviews, especially if they have some skin. Because you might as well embrace it. You might as well embrace it at this point. Anyway, before I want to put a little rant about that. Anyway, so yeah, the movie seems to be self-aware. This on the screen here is it's the robot. It looks like a gray stormtrooper. Looks like a stormtrooper with its armor all spray painted with gray paint. Okay, it has this weird distorted voice. I actually thought it was kind of cool. It's very cool sounding. This robot gets shut down. You could complain about so much about this film, but one of my complaints is that this robot does not get enough time. This robot is pretty cool. Could have been around a little bit more. But even when it's there, it hurts itself. It shoots itself. In the beginning of the film, we were introduced to our robot, and it puts in some Beethoven music, playing some classical music, which is weird because none of the other music in the movie is classical. In fact, it's mostly like synthwave, which is not bad. It's very 80s, very 80s soundtrack here, other than the Beethoven. And then our hero wakes up after going through the montage of sequences that we're going to see later on in the film, as if we're caught in some sort of time warp, to then have to fend off against these I guess other spaceships are trying to attack it, which that's the rehash footage. That's the rehash footage from Battle Beyond the Stars. And then after that, our little robot friends are like, oh yeah, by the way, we have to go to this other planet, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I thought it was my day off. I thought I was going to get off. Nope. You now have to do work. You have to go back, or you have to go to this other planet. I forgot what they call it. It's with an X. Zanobo or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't even think they know how to pronounce it right. They go to this planet because it has some research that needs to be protected. Oh, so it almost sounds like the plot to Doom Annihilation or Doom 2015. I can tell you, this movie's a lot better than both. A lot better than both. That's not saying too much, though. That's not really a high bar, is it? It's not. By the way, thank you for the like. I can see that on the stream. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, what is going on in this research? Well, before I go into that, let me talk about some of the cast that we have here. Because Blonde Bimbo number 1, Hot Doctor, she's not just anybody. She's played by June Chadwick. She's from Magnum P.I. and the original V. She is a very attractive, white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. And the first time we see her, she is walking down the hall, and the camera's doing the Lord's work and making sure it gets everything. You have these two blonde babes walking in these like white outfits, wearing high heels, clear high heels, very 80s, right? Yeah, that instantly gets my attention. I'm like, okay, what's this movie going to be about? What are we going to see? Of course, just from the cover art alone, you already know there's going to be some nudity in this film. This is going to be one of those films where it's like, okay, there's going to be some sex scenes. There's going to be something going on here. You don't want the kids to be around. All right, anyway, that's the hot doctor. You have the screaming chick. I just know her really as a screaming girl. That's the assistant. She's played by Dawn Dunlap. She doesn't really have much to her credit. She didn't really have much lasting power, I suppose. But she's nude quite a bit too, and she screams a lot in this film. In fact, that's kind of what she does best, is scream. Other than that, her performance is kind of like, is she just phoning it in? Does she even care? And this thing about this character, Tracy Baxter, I believe is her name. She either screams or she acts like she doesn't give a damn at all. What I mean by that is, there's a scene where, the scene after all the four different people were shooting at this alien thing. Later on, they're attacked, and they're like, "Did you see that, Tracy? Tracy, did you see that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I saw." Without the southern accent, just like very nonchalant, like she doesn't care, like she couldn't even be bothered. If they had her do her nails, like polish her nails or something, that would make it even more fitting. Like she doesn't even really want to be there, it seems like. So why is she there? She's supposed to be training. She's in training or something. Maybe it's for college. But it's like her character's written like that. They keep it consistent. That's why I don't think it's a fluke. That's why I think her screaming and her very stereotypical bimbo ways of behaving are kind of, it's intentional. Like even the way this character runs, very dainty, like ooh, very dainty, very super dainty. You can't get any more dainty. And she gets distracted on little missions. There's a part where, or little errands, I should say. There's a part where the doctor's going to be the hero of the day. Well, he can't bear the brunt like our main man hero can with a blaster, right? He's the one who's actually going to slay the monster. But the doctor, since he has cancer, and he figures out, you know what, maybe I'll feed the cancer to the alien creature, is asking our master hero to just cut into his chest, to cut into the tumor to take it out. This movie's wild. This movie's freaking wild, what it is. All they do is simply ask this bimbo, Tracy Baxter, Dawn Dunlap, to get some morphine. What does she do? She gets distracted. She has this very long little run, and then she has to walk up to what she knows is going to grab her, stand there, wait for a moment, and the thing grabs her and she freaks out. She's late with the morphine. By the time, I don't even think she gets it. Doesn't even matter if she did, because by the time she comes back, our main hero guy got the tumor out. I know I'm gonna be all over the place on this review. This movie's kind of all over the place. It really is, but it is a fun ride. And you know what? You could stream it for free. If you could watch this on Amazon, free. Well, I mean, if you already pay for Amazon Prime, right? If you're looking for a space movie, a sci-fi movie, well, don't wait for Star Wars. Don't wait for Disney to get their act together. This isn't bad. It's cheesy, like I said, but okay. Let's talk about another scene that has a lot more to it than I think people would give it credit for. And that is this mutant thing. Okay, so very early on in the film, when our main badass hero guy goes to the facility, when our Han Solo impersonator goes to the facility, he's shown around, he's introduced to their experiment. Now, what they call the experiment, I don't really remember. I think it's was it nanomutation? It doesn't necessarily matter, because it's a bunch of 80s nonsense science crap that doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. They're working on some research to try to make a protein replicate to solve some sort of food crisis they have. I guess back on Earth or something. What happens is this, of course, doesn't work. The animals are dying that are being experimented on and whatever. So you have this very gory scene where all this blood's everywhere, this gunk and nasty stuff. And you have these bodies of these dead animals, which, by the way, the filmmakers got real dead carcasses, real dead animals on set. Not real animals where they killed. No, I'm doing that. But they were given real dead animals to use as props, which then I guess they're just thrown away because what else do you do with it? But that's pretty fucking determined, right? That's what the acting in that scene is horrible. Especially the guy who's cleaning up the mess. Like, he acts like he doesn't care. And it's not like he's acting like he doesn't care. It just seems like he's not even aware of what he's supposed to. It's like he's not even fazed by the gore. He doesn't even acknowledge it. Either that's intentional, that might be some of the best acting I've ever seen. I don't know. Or it's just he just arrived on set. I was like, where are my lines? But yeah, the guy goes around, picks up these animals, puts them in a trash bag. But the scene is very dedicated. Like the level of gore and all that, it's not bad. In fact, the gore is pretty good in this film. Like I said, it would definitely pass the 3B's Bob Briggs thing. Because you do get the bodies. I think that the death count's 6 bodies. And you do get lots of blood. And of course, you get boobs. You get boobs and ass. Now, let's talk about the gore real fast. Because the gore, while it looks kind of cool in the beginning, there's a scene where they're eating strawberry cheesecake in space. So, if you ever seen a sci-fi movie where you have a sci-fi crew, you've seen this scene before, where you have a crew in space that gather around at a table. Just about every sci-fi movie, from Event Horizon to Doom Annihilation, which is horrible, have this sort of scene where they gather around at a little table and are eating something, right? Here they're eating like a brick of, I guess, supposed to be cake, or shortcake, and they're putting like the strawberry icing. I guess it's supposed to be strawberry. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because the texture of the strawberry syrup that they use is the exact same that is the blood. So it's like, wait. I think you guys are using your blood prop here. I think you guys just expose what your blood is made out of. You know? It was very weird. Which, I don't think that was an intentional thing. That seems more like they didn't really think about it. But like Roger Corman would care. He would just ask you to not laugh at him. If you laugh at it, apparently he's going to punch you. Which, by the way, according to that story, which obviously I got that from reading some trivia about this. According to that story, the person he punched, the producer of this film, punched someone, right, for laughing at it. And later on later after the screening, the guy dunked, his soda on him. Good. So, that's the gore. Let's get into... Alright, you got to talk about the nudity. You got to talk about the sex scene. It happens very early on. After our introduction to the laboratory, we see the hot doctor again. And she pretty much throws herself on him. She's like, "Oh, I heard all about you." And she's like, she is all about getting in bed with him. And that's, I mean, am I supposed to describe what they do? I mean, they're banging. And you have the black guy playing classical music. Not classical, sorry. Saxophone. Sexy sax. And then you have this other guy He was watching on a monitor like a pervy guy. All right. Which during that scene, so the sex scene would be spliced in with the guy watching them because he has nothing better to do. But later on, he's looking around the ship because the alien. Of course, it's always like this. Let me backtrack a little bit. So in the laboratory scene, after our main guy leaves, the guy who's cleaning up the mess, the janitor, totally messed up. And the mutation gets out. Of course it does. Of course it fucking does. So, later on, when the sex scene is happening, and our pervy guy is watching him, something happens. He hears a sound, gets an alarm. He starts searching for this the thing. Starts searching for it. This little. It looks like an alien slime thing. Not to really reference anime. Have you ever seen Cowboy Bebop? I think it was the toys in the attic. I forgot what the name of the episode where they have the little slime thing moving around. It's like that. It looks like this little black ooze thing at first, and it moves on from there. But the reason I'm talking about this is because this guy, this hero of the day, he definitely dies. He gets his ass killed by here. And when it happens, when he dies, all of a sudden you see a strobe effect of the sex scene. So it's like, what are we seeing here? Is the guy so distracted by what he saw, so amazed by our Han Solo guy's level of banging? Maybe he's amazed by this hot blonde. I don't know, but he's amazed, and he can't outdo this little slime thing. Because think about it, in this movie, at this point, you have two people and a bunch of animals apparently that were taken out by a little slime ball. If you ever played a role-playing game like Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior or whatever, Dragon's Quest or whatever, the slime's like the first thing you encounter. How is a slime killing everybody? And it does, I guess. It just doesn't make any sense. But it's not going to, is it? Right after that banging scene, we're treated to another scene of Hot Bimbo number 2 in a steam room, enjoying a naked steam session. She has her sunglasses on. She's being steamed out. And all the angles you can think of. And our hero of the day, Han Solo ripoff, Han Solo impersonator, comes in looking for the slime thing, I guess, whatever, looking for whatever got loose. And she's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" And eventually, somehow, it's like, "I'm here for your safety." She's like, "Oh, okay." And he goes from being the hot doctor to saying, "Oh, what he had a hard night," and then they're about to get it on until they're interrupted by the slime monster. So back to back, you have two very sexual scenes. I mean, our main guy, our hero, he's no chump. He's no simp. He's no cuck. He is an alpha. He's no beta. Now, I think I already talked about the four guys it took to take out this one alien guy, where they're all shooting at the stationary target. By this point in the film, they go back to the facility. So, people could call this an Alien ripoff, and in a way it is. But Alien takes place all in the ship, which is fine. It's very claustrophobic. It's a corridor. Okay, fine. This, you go outside a little bit, and you see the outside, and it's okay. You have some more variety there. All right. And by the way, the interior shots are well lit, very well lit, to the point where you could see kind of what they did to make the hallway look sci-fi. Which what they did is they used styrofoam takeout trays, a bunch of them, to make the hall look, science fiction-ish. Now, another really good part of this film, there's a part where after our heroes tried to shoot, well, let me backtrack. So after they shot the stationary thing, they try to go back into the base, and you see this monster. You see this monster, and I hope I have an image of it here. I better. It is the laziest thing I've seen. It's like this monster could not even be bothered. It's like just this black blob with spider legs coming out of it, with a head kind of like crunched in, but it doesn't move. This thing, this prop, it just doesn't really. The head moves, and one arm moves, but that is it. And you could tell, like, they didn't really work with anything else. Like this is the most they got. Okay. By the head. By the way, the head does look like it's a xenomorph. Like it's trying to be. And in case you weren't convinced about how stationary it was in that scene, there is another scene later on after someone dies and all that stuff. They freak out. Our blonde bimbo number 1, blonde bimbo number 2 decide to try their luck in talking to it. They're like, okay, they're trying to attack it, but maybe what it needs is to be communicated with. Maybe we could talk to the monster, talk to the alien. So they get this idea. And what they do is strip down, which, of course, you would have to, apparently. Because they strip down of all their clothes and approach the monster again when it's on top of a bunch of computers. I guess that's their way trying to imply that it hacked into the mainframe. It's now in part of the circuitry of the ship or the station. I guess so. I guess that's what that's supposed to be. But anyway, they approach it, and our hot doc, is trying to talk to it. Hey, lazy blob of shit on top of the computer. Can we talk, bro? And they start talking like typing. Okay. Of course, it ends badly. Of course, it shows some intelligent at first, like, oh, okay, it can interact, it seems to be aware. And then it's as cheesy as you can imagine. It writes itself, can we coexist? And at that moment, the hand moves. And it's like she should have seen this coming. The hand moves, and it looks like it goes through her. I don't know what it goes up exactly. It goes down and looks like it impels her through her, I got to try to keep this somewhat family appropriate. You know what happens here. She gets impelled. Anyway, then our black guy is like, we got to do something about this. Oh, no. Our main hero guy is like, okay, let's shoot this alien. Let's get rid of it. But they can't shoot it because apparently it has hacked into the computer. It's part of it. So if they kill it, they kill the ship or the space station. Doesn't make any sense. But it gives us a reason, or it gives them a reason anyway, for the black guy, our security guy, to go down and try to do something. And he ends up dying, of course. But at least in this film, the black guy wasn't the first one to die. At least there's that. By this point in the film, honestly, I was like, well, what is this encounter going to look like? Because a sci-fi horror movie, it better have a good creature encounter. That final encounter better be good. Even if it is cheesy. Come on. And you get a lot of scenes of Scream Girl doing what she does best, screaming as this monster is apparently chasing her throughout the corridors. And they do that kind of convincing. It appears to be moving. It appears to be chasing her. Okay. All right. And then you get that's when he leads into the doctor scene. The doctor has cancer. He realizes, maybe this protein, I'm eating the cancer, is avoiding it. So maybe I force feed the cancer, the tumor, into the alien. That's how it's going to die. And that's how we get that stuff. See, you follow the logic of the movie, you kind of get there, but it takes a while because it seems like, what's going on here? Seriously. One thing I like about it, though, is the level of detail to the surroundings. Now, I know the props and the scene and the setting was all reused material. It's all used before because it was in Galaxy of Terror. But I suppose the thinking is, well, I already put in money to make the stuff. Why reinvent it? If it's there, we could just tell another space story with the same stuff. And that's what they did. Okay. But it's flashy. It's cool. There's some scenes where it's like, okay, that actually doesn't look bad. Well, like, honestly, these styrofoam hallways, they didn't look all that bad when I first saw them. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I like, if I were to make a space movie now with a very limited budget, that doesn't seem like a bad idea. I mean, I don't know why sci-fi walls always look goofy anyway. Why do they look goofy? Like, even Star Wars, how come all the walls are white? I mean, I know the artistic choice, it's not necessarily the color, but the design, the paneling and all that. What is all that about? What is that? Or the way the lights look, You ever thought about that stuff? Anyway. So yeah, we do get a final encounter that is pretty decent. Pretty decent. Where our main blaster guy is hero of the day again. He seals the deal. Delivers the tumor to the alien in a very brave way. And the alien freaks out. Does not like the tumor, which, once again, dedication to this monster. Apparently the pink stuff, the pink substance that this prop monster was spitting out was actually very toxic in real life. It would burn your hands, burn your skin. So the crew was very careful about using it. It's like, were they really trying to go for realism here? I mean, they did use real dead animals in one scene. Makes me wonder, that sex scene, was that simulated? Was that real? I gotta tell you, there's certain things that are going on in that sex scene that seemed very real. And it was like they were filming a porn, but with just the right angle to make it soft enough for theater. Yeah. So really, honestly, not a bad film overall. Would I recommend it? Hey, if you're looking for a horror sci-fi movie that has a little bit of cheese to it, well, let's be honest, a lot of cheese, then you're going to enjoy this. Is there a sleazy aspect to it? Sure. Yeah, you get that. But It's one of those movies. If you like that sort of thing, you're going to enjoy it. If you don't even bother because you're not going to like it, right? I think the next film I got to watch is maybe I should watch Galaxy of Terror. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe another slasher. But I like to keep it. I like to keep y'all guessing about what movie I'm going to review next. Because I don't like to be predictable. Not really. You know? Like, what is this guy got to talk about next time? What strange movie? What oddity? Maybe I'll just go for a classic like Evil Dead. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll go for Halloween. That's another classic. Anyway, the horror review portion is pretty much wrapped up here. If you enjoyed this review, if you enjoyed this movie, if you've seen it before and have some comments about it, whether you liked it or not, just let me know in the comment section. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please feel free to review it. Let us know in the review what you thought of it. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll go ahead and wrap this up here. And y'all have a good one.